Well, the gusty wind and brutal cold have been making things tough all over southern New England today.
And people looking to get to Block Island, for example, could not take the ferry. They canceled service today because of the winds.
The wind and cold also made an already tough job even harder for firefighters in West Warwick early this morning.
Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell continues our pinpoint weather team coverage live from West Warwick with a West Bay mobile newsroom.
Some firefighters had frozen gear and this entire street was covered in ice, but there was one saving grace. That's the fact that the fire department is right across the street. So when the fire was out, firefighters were able to get inside quickly and warm up. At about 4 this morning, smoke and fire started pouring out of this vacant house in West Warwick.
As soon as our company rolled out the door, they're right across the street here. They had heavy fire on the second floor.
The other challenge, the wind and the extreme cold.
We had ice for 100 yards out here that was an inch thick last night. I mean, we were sliding all over the place. They had radios freeze up, they had air packs freeze up, their gear was all frozen from the water and that.
Fortunately, nobody was hurt. But with another cold night ahead, West Warwick's fire marshal is concerned about other vacant buildings in the town too, including the Lippet Mill, which is part of the same property.
There's many concerns, like people trying to keep warm. It's not just a place to get out of the weather and out of the rain. Now it's with a night like last night, how cold it was. Now some of them, they want to start a little fire in there to try and keep warm. We're not sure if that was the case here exactly, but we've seen it in the past where things like that do happen.
This morning's fire has been ruled accidental, but the investigation is ongoing. The fire marshal tells me he and the building inspector are going to several vacant buildings across this town to make sure they are all boarded up properly and secured so nobody can get into them. Coming up new at 6, we will show you some of the damage that was caused by wind this afternoon. Live with West Warwick with the mobile newsroom, Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Tony, and our pinpoint weather team coverage continues tonight. Today's chilly temperatures and powerful winds were tough to take, making an already difficult job much harder for these West Warwick firefighters.
The gusts also took their toll on this tree in Providence right here that toppled over, just barely missing the house next to it. New at 6, Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell is talking to the home's owner. She joins us now live with the mobile newsroom.
Yeah, that tree was totally uprooted. The homeowner tells me it's not even her tree, it's actually her neighbor's. All over southern New England, people are bundled up and braving the howling winds. But this tree in Providence was no match for one of those gusts.
I heard a huge crack and like a crash.
It happened this afternoon.
I haven't been inside yet. No, I don't even know how to go.
Caroline Fields came home to this mess in her front yard.
These trees have a very shallow root system, so not that this tree was necessarily diseased, but I just think the wind caught it in just the right way.
It's not just the wind. The extreme cold has caused problems today, too, especially for firefighters in West Warwick who were called out to battle a fire early this morning at this vacant house.
They had radios freeze up, they had air packs freeze up, their gear was all frozen from the water. We had ice for 100 yards out here that was an inch thick last night. I mean, we were sliding all over the place.
Fortunately, nobody was hurt in either incident. The fire at this vacant house has been ruled accidental but remains under investigation. The fire marshal tells me there was evidence inside that house that people had been staying there recently. Live in West Warwick with the mobile newsroom, Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.